Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Monday, March 2nd, 2026 Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board meeting. We have a quorum. Everyone is here. So I'll start with a confirmation of the posted meeting agenda. I don't know of any changes. We have Jim's meeting notes. Any comments, questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Move to accept.
Motion, second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention, motion carries. Having draft form, the February 17 minutes. Any edits, corrections, additions? So moved. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Correspondence announcements? I don't have anything. Anyone?
Have we had any response to this memorandum about the need to look at our zoning?
We have not, and part of that is on us, and then we sent it for final review by Grant Lyons, and we haven't gotten that.
Oh, I
back yet.
see. Okay.
Anything else, anyone? All right, new applications, Ernesto Castillo and Marianne Dugan, 26 Kelly Street, site plan review for roof-mounted solar.
I'm my first name here, am I supposed to
Go to the microphone and
Microphone.
introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like to do.
Yes, good evening, my name is Demetra. I am here from Venture Solar in representation for Marianne Dugan at 26 Kelly Street. Our application tonight is for a proposed rooftop solar system. 4.84 kilowatt system, which would be 11 rooftop panels and 11 microinverters. We did provide, well, I provided plans and pictures as requested from our original meeting. Just trying to show you, superimposed on the photos of different directions of the home, what could be seen, what can't be seen. It is going to be as minimal as we possibly can, as I know it is a historic district. So I believe that is pretty much it, what I'm proposing.
Jim?
Okay, so we did ask for a number of things at the pre-conference meeting. I think those have all been provided. Primarily, I think this is a discussion of consistency with the historic nature of the hamlet and design-related review. The only comment that I really had is just that in this top picture here, I'll look up a little bit. It just shows the conduit going straight down from the one panel to the other, and I just didn't know if it might be possible to bring it down the side here, which might also help if there was ever an issue with ice coming off the roof or something. It might just be a little less visible if it was running down, the edge of the house and then down the panel versus down the top, but that's up to you. Otherwise, I had no other comments on the project.
Okay. Planning board members?
I think we had an application from the same house earlier last year, and one of the issues was painting out the windows that are on there. And has that been done at present?
Painting out the windows?
Yeah,
With trim.
yeah.
Well, based upon this photos now.
What's that?
Based upon the photo on bottom left, I'd say no.
Yeah, it seems not from the photos, but the photos might date to an earlier
fair.
time. So that would be like something to check on the site visit, is make sure that that work is up to date before we move forward with another
I
application.
can absolutely, I can ask the homeowner for you. Unfortunately, that wasn't any kind of work that we were involved
Yeah, no,
with for
I
them.
understand, yeah.
I know one concern at the previous meeting was that they kind of do some work and then a little while later want to apply for more work.
Right.
When did you take the photos? Are they your photos or are they all
Yes,
photos?
those
So
are
they're recent.
Those are our photos. I didn't look to see when exactly our site visit was. But our plans date back to November of this past year, so I would assume our site visit is usually about 30 days or so prior to that.
There's also leaves still on
There's
the
still, yeah,
trees
there's some
and
plants
there's
still there,
green.
so this was definitely
So-
before.
Yeah,
definitely
this is
before
probably
the first
late
freeze, I think,
August.
so
Yeah,
this
it
is
looks like
7 months old.
But they were probably not painting in December, so
Right.
it's,
And they have been out of country, I can say, since the beginning of the, right before Christmas.
okay.
So,
And I would second what Jim and Melody had said
About
about
the conduit.
Yeah, and it's really important that things that get added onto the house follow the lines of architecture. You know, we can accept that there are modern utilities that have their place,
right,
but we really make an effort to have things blend in as much as possible.
absolutely. And we do, you know, if painting the conduit is something that the board would like done as well, we do those types of things.
To match the roof color.
Yes, I mean, we probably wouldn't be able to match it exactly, but as close as possible to where it's kind of more blended in rather than sticking out.
Wondering why it's necessary to put them on two different levels. Why not continue the array to the right?
That was a great question. To be honest with you, I believe it's because of the setback rules that we're not able to fit the other two up there. So if you see the blue lines kind of at the ridge of the roof, those are the setbacks that are required. So we have to stay out of that area. I did, after our first meeting, I did go through this with my regional operations manager, trying to kind of move things around a bit, and it didn't really, there wasn't a way to really fit it.
That rectangular button there is a pointer, so you can point to the screen.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And it seems like your photographs were altered in a way that's not really in scale with what the projection of the panels themselves would be. It looks like there's a lot more room in the photograph
Yes.
than there is on the plans.
Unfortunately, because they're superimposed, they're not actual. Yeah, pretty much what our designers did was they took this area and we have a program that allows us to kind of, you know, superimpose those things on there. They weren't to exact measure. But yes, you're right. From the photos over here, it looks like there is a lot more room, whereas this setback here is unfortunately not allowing us to put those panels up there.
Do you have two different kinds of panel? Because some of those are square and some of those
Oh,
are
no.
rectangles.
So what you're seeing there are the rectangular ones will be on a horizontal leg, and then the ones that are kind of more square are the vertical.
But even the squarish ones are not the same. The lower two
Yeah,
are
those two.
taller
You're
than
absolutely
the
right.
ones
Yeah.
above. So you get
Yeah.
like three different sizes going on, it looks like.
Right, you're absolutely right.
Maybe a different
With
pitch
it.
too.
Yeah, I mean, I know they do live flush with the roof, so I think they kind of, when they put these on there, it's laid on there according to the pitch, whereas the ones that are rectangular are more, I understand what you're saying.
Is it different pitches for the addition than it is for the main roof? Main roof looks like it's maybe a 9 pitch.
I did not get the actual pitches. Hang on one moment, let me see if
It's
I,
even more.
It's flatter.
yes, that
That looks
is,
shallower, but it would be helpful if you had the little triangle showing what the pitch is.
okay.
We can check the status with the building department of the completion of the approved work.
So they just have, what they have now that needs to be done is painting the trim of their windows.
Well, we'll check.
Oh,
We'll check with the building department and see if they've completed everything on their approval.
okay.
Anyone else? No? Jim?
In the front of the house, I think we have the same situation that Edmund brought up in Craig. But it looks like, if you go back to the green line, it looks like it's going about 2 feet off. It's hard to see from an angle, but my assumption is it doesn't look like it's on the edge. And I would also request that we
Get those to be more precise.
just
For the-
put them in line with things that are in line and not in the middle.
I think it's because the existing electrical box is there, and there's already a conduit run up that part of the house, so it is, I think, like 2 feet back from the edge of the wall.
Up to the top.
Yeah. I can pull it over here. Next, I thought the same thing.
Okay.
And I know,
I would
and
still almost go down to like below the, this house is right on the road.
Yeah, Sean, I like the same thing, so it's,
Yeah,
it's got the box with some conduits kind of set in a little bit, that's all. Or I think that's what, I think it's worth confirming. And if you have, continue to go on to
to a
it.
second.
No.
Okay.
so,
I think that's one of them there. Okay. That one looks like it has been painted.
This was updated in July 25. So it's accurate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not.
well, that's easy enough to
Anyway,
check.
that's, yeah, that was the other one.
All right.
Jim, I think you have a draft procedural resolution?
Yes. Asking the Town of Rhinebeck Planning Board to act as follows on the application by Ernesto Castillo and Mary Ann Dugan. Site plan special use permit under Town Code Chapter 125 for the addition of rooftop solar at 26 Kelly Street within the RCH and RCO overlay zoning districts. Accepting the application, supporting documents is adequate for further review. We'll classify the action as unlisted, for which coordinated environmental quality review is not required. We'll schedule a public hearing for April 6th, no earlier than 6:05 p.m. We will send it to the CAB, WAC, and HAPAC for review, and the two planning board members to do a site visit.
Who'd like to go? Tom?
Anyway,
Okay, Tom and Sean. May I have a motion to approve the resolution?
so,
Have a
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. We'll be in touch with you to schedule the site visit.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That concludes the, no, I'm sorry, that includes new applications. We have one order under old business, that's a Rhinecliff Hotel, Corky, 4 Grinnell Street, and additional parking spaces. This is an amended site plan and special use permit.
No, it's just, and it's a pointer. The second one.
Good evening. Kyle here with LaBelle Associates, here on behalf of the owner. So this application is old business because it was in front of you guys, but it's been quite a while. So
Can you hear him?
I think we were last year in 2023, if I'm not mistaken. It's a very similar application to what it was at that time. The main difference is going to be where's the map? There was previously a parallel space in the drop-off area here that's being converted to the 2 parking spaces. There were some concerns that that was not a great geometry. You would have cars conflicting with one another, backing into the side of the space that was a pull-in space, which fair enough. We were trying to maximize as much as possible, but that parking space just wasn't great. So that's been removed. There's been a couple other aesthetic changes. The parking at the south side here in Grinnell, we've added pavers kind of to match what's currently the existing loading area here. The landscaping has been tweaked to be just more in line with the aesthetics of the rest of the hotel. The bollard similarly was a more modern fixture before, and it's been switched out to be a, actually I might have, does the next arrow go to the next?
No, just that's
Can you go to the C530? It's kind of hard to see here, but this bollard here is more of a historic looking bollard than the previous one, which is a little more contemporary. It's going to have the, obelisk with an arm coming out, but all clean lines. It's a nice picture, but not really as appropriate for the historic district. So that's about it. There's no change in the use of the building. So the only change, I should also mention, just to kind of go back to the last time we were here, just to remind everyone, the site does have a ZBA, a variance for the on-site parking. It was for between 2 and 22 spaces on-site. So we are here, there has been, since the hotel was renovated, there have been 2 existing spaces. They are both ADA spaces, one here and one where it looks like a new ADA space, but it's actually just repainting the existing one there. So we have gone from 2 spaces to 10 spaces on site, so it's still in line with what that approved variance is. Like I said, no change in use, so we're just here for the additional spaces on site. That's about it for me. Again, this is just a rendering of what that would look like. I know there was also, last time we were here, the public comments, some of the public comments were making sure that it's, going to be a nice, still a nice view as you look towards the river. So this white picket fence is existing at essentially right along the curb here. But that's being pushed back obviously for the parking, but that's being replaced, same style and everything, will match what's there currently, just being pushed back, and then the landscaping in front of that, so you're not seeing a parking lot. You're it'll be just 7 spaces there with some nice landscaping and fencing. So this is just, we want to show what it would actually look like, because it's a little harder to tell from the site plan obviously than this here.
Okay, just a couple comments. Obviously, again, we're in, the hamlet, so consideration of, historic preservation, consistency with the property in the neighborhood will be something to consider. You will need, I don't think we've seen sign off from the highway department on line it yet. If you have, just let me know if I missed it. But we will need that as we're doing the sign.
We have not seen that yet.
Okay, so we'll need to get that from him. Fence can't exceed 4 feet in height. I don't believe it does. If you can confirm that.
Yeah, there you go. So if you go to fence detail, there should be a dimension there, 4 feet. There we go. At its maximum.
Yep. And it does provide for the passive views. A couple other things. There was a tree proposed to be removed. We wanted to note it on the plans.
Yeah, that was added to the demo plan. If you go up to C1, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So can you just explain what's coming down just for the record?
So, you can see here, adjacent to the existing ADA space, which is here, there is an existing tree that has to be removed so that this parking can be extended further to the south.
And then, let's see what else do I have. We did talk with you, we kind of had a mini pre-con before you came in this time, I believe, about the signage. It's been determined by the zoning administrator, essentially all signage is within the signage regulations. That includes everything, including METCD signage, which is your traffic and directional type signage and things like that. So we'd have to get a variance for the signage on site. So I think the discussion and agreement was that you wouldn't have any signage as part of this proposal, but you would come in separately for a sign plan, is that correct?
Did that include the existing, because those are existing ADA spaces, so does that include the existing signs?
If there's an existing sign, I guess that can remain, but any new signage, you have to come in, you're going to be over the maximum, the sign code is very strict, so you have to come in for variance, so existing signage, if you're going to keep it and not move it or change it, I think that's fine.
Okay, so yeah, we can put in no new signs.
Yeah.
You know, unless submitted separately.
Backup stuff, it'll go up in a second. They know about it.
There were two others I had to do quickly. One was we proposed a grate in the road.
There shouldn't be any new grade proposed.
Right here.
Oh, so that's just a, in the protection during construction for an existing structure.
Okay, but it will be in the street though, right? So
Yes.
will that be bike safe?
It'll be in the, inside the structure, it'll be silt sack, so it won't be, the only thing that comes above grade are tabs, but there's nothing obstructing, you know.
No bike crossing issues or anything like that?
The,
I guess
the
what I'm
tabs
concerned about-
themselves would not be, I mean, I don't know if the grate itself is bicycle friendly, but the silt sack will not interfere with bikes, no.
Right, but if there's going to be a new grate in the road, even if it's for protection, I just want to make sure the bike's safe if that's possible. I didn't realize it was typical, or temporary, but.
Well, the grate is existing, so we're not switching.
Grate's existing?
Yeah.
Then my only other comment, and this is a big one, we did discuss this before, is the bollard lighting. I do believe it is, you know, it obviously is, you know, has an historic look to it. Don't have any issues there. My issue, you know, that we discussed, when we talked before, is that the lighting, and I looked on the Sternberg website, the lighting essentially comes out of these little black things here, which means the lights are going to be projecting out horizontally. And I just don't know if that's something the board is comfortable with. This particular one, I believe, actually had the proposal was for the high intensity light bulb inside. So I just see that as potentially projecting light out horizontally, which is something we try and avoid. We want dark sky compliant lighting, which this would be, but I just don't know if it quite fits the intent of what we're trying to do with minimizing light shine off-site things, because this is closer to the road. I just wanted to bring that up for you to consider.
When you say high intensity lighting, what do you
Well, I
mean?
went onto the Sternberg website, looked at the 2501 Lincoln model, and it just said that that one contained a high intensity bulb versus a regular intensity bulb. I don't know, but
There's like different model number within the 2501 family. There's different intensities of the luminary you can select, so we can call that out. We also looked to see if they had a similar fixture that would not, it doesn't shine out, but it does, as you said, shine sideways. So we minimize the height of the fixture to the lowest height that they offer. We added the color temperature to 2700 Kelvin, which is like a warm light as compared to a more white or blue colored light. So those, and we can add the lower intensity as far as the luminaires that are generated by the light to the least amount that they offer. Because there were no alternative fixtures really that still had that historic look. So So the alternative was essentially go back to something, it doesn't have to be the same fixture, but something similar to the original proposal, which was more modern looking.
Where are the lights on the site?
So in front of the proposed parking, there's 4, basically every other parking space there will be one. They're also going to be within the bushes, so some of the light will be kind of filtered through those, but in front they'll be visible when they're not blocked by cars.
So the Sternberg light's a nice light, and I've seen these types of lights before. It's just I want to make sure the board's aware of what we're talking about in terms of the projection of light, because typically we talk about these projecting down, that's all. So it's up for discussion. I'm not saying we can't do it, I just wanted to raise that as a consideration.
I personally think it's more important to have the downlights just because it's a more efficient method for lighting, because you're not looking at the light source. It lights up the landscape, and you were able to get away with a lower intensity of lighting because of that, number one. Number two, I think we should shy away from ye olde lighting. I mean, there weren't bollards there in 1857 or 1862 or whatever. So there's not a standard that we're having to work to. So having something that is very spare and modern and just announces what it is and doesn't try to pretend to be from an earlier period, I think is a better method for modern interventions in a historic district.
I tend to agree, and I'm wondering, what is the purpose of the lighting?
That's just if you come to the hotel after hours, just provides along the sidewalk, providing light from the sidewalk. Yes, yeah, exactly.
I agree with Greg. I mean, obviously the parking is a modern intervention to the hotel, and so I don't think there's any particular need to go to the extreme of trying to make it look historic when it clearly isn't. And if it provides more downlighting, and I think we're all in favor of that.
Okay, understood.
And there are a lot of choices among the low bollards that do the downlight and just light up the landscape.
With the modern fixture, it opens up a lot of those options. Yes.
What is the purpose of the fence?
It's just to maintain the existing fence line. It's not shown in the rendering as well, but if we go back to the site plan, there is. I should stop doing this now.
Well, I understand there's a fence currently, but what is the purpose?
Well, the lawn, the hotel utilizes this lawn area or has in the past for events. So the idea is it would continue. It's obviously going to be cut into by the parking, but it would still be an area that could be enclosed and used for guests and events, small events.
Because I'd love to, if you could do the landscaping, I think it'd be maybe much more trivial. It's not a dog park.
Well, we have both. So along between the sidewalk and the fence that's going in is a line of landscaping with the bollards.
You're saying beef up the landscaping?
I'd keep the landscaping as is and just let the view be. I mean, I don't think adding a 4-foot fence, unless you're trying to keep children and dogs in.
Well, is there any change in elevation from the side parking to the
not much
lawn?
to the rendering.
No, it's not 100% flat because the Cornell kind of grades up this way, but from east over to the west, there's essentially no grade change there until you get to. Well, that's the other thing. You definitely need a fence here because this is a 40-foot, cliff essentially down to the track.
The grade is left to right on the screen, obviously without grade.
Right.
I'm with Sean. I think that landscape will look more natural and beautiful than the fence. If there's a way to be more, creating a boundary with integrity that feels a little more natural, it's better.
Like the 40-foot cliff, there's really no alternative here.
No, sorry, not that one. The one close to the parking area, the other fence that separates us from the event.
It really needs to be enclosed, or else you're just going to have the same issue where you can have somebody go around and in the back.
Or they're trespassing.
Well, it would be people from the hotel.
What if we just get
we're
more
talking
pictures
like
of
young
this
kids
area so
mostly
we can
would be
see?
the
Do you have
main issue.
any more elevation for this?
So we could see the different angles of what we're talking
Well,
about.
again, we don't want people running off the cliff into Amtrak, but also where people are parking and they're not running off the cliff.
Yeah, the fence isn't there for the parking spaces. It's for the lawn area.
So am I understanding that you're saying to the left of the word Grinnell, the fencing comes all the way down and across there? So you're
Yes.
saying that you don't want them going down there, but does that mean it has to continue through the landscape?
There's additional fencing here as well.
Yeah, okay.
It's not shown.
It's shown as existing. It's very light, but it is. You can see it here and going here at the wastewater area. So the fencing we're talking about is keeping it, but relocating it. It's currently coming across here.
Yeah.
and pushing it back here. So there's no opening in the fence anywhere along the frontage of around here. So,
Is it gonna stay white?
yes. So it'll be the same fence that you're looking at here, it'll just be, refurbished.
And the reason that we could not remove the fencing in front of the parking area to increase the beauty of seeing the river and everything else is because why?
It would no longer be enclosed.
Well, couldn't you
Oh.
end it? That's the question I was trying to ask.
Oh, I see, you're saying because it continues on the backside?
Yeah.
I can see if the owner would be open to that. My understanding was the lawn area was to remain enclosed, but as long as they have the fence
We're
on the
not talking
backside.
about the lawn area, we're talking about the fence that's immediately in front of the
But it's
parking.
around, right, it's around the lawn
But
area.
it can't terminate at that point?
That's
Or
what I
they-
wouldn't have to ask the owner about, yeah.
I mean, we're talking hypothetically. Could it terminate at that point and just be?
Right, well, it's kind of a counterbalance, right? We're adding 8 cars there, which is gonna interfere with the view, right? In return, we get rid of the fence, so we, just one last thing, we keep the landscaping, and I think it would actually flow really nicely, but, I mean, I'm not the landowner, nor am I your position, so.
Just because we're on fencing, not to complicate things, but that last picture looked like there's a lot of disrepair in the fence to begin with, and there's gonna need to be a lot of work done to the fence, whatever you decide. I think what I saw was that around the treatment plant, it looked wood, and the
Yes.
other one's white.
Correct.
I don't know how the rest of the board feels about this, but if there was not something nearly as dense as that, but something that ages and turns to the color of the wood, rather than the stark white, which could peel over time again, if there was a lot of repair done, is there a way to make what is left feel a little bit more natural to the landscape?
Like a cedar or something.
Yeah, the cedar is gonna gray out and kind of disappear a little bit more rather than feeling so stark.
I mean, it's gonna be new fencing, so if that's what the board prefers.
Why don't you just
I
take
don't-
these comments back
Right,
to
yeah, yeah.
Victoria and the owner and
Right.
see?
I think that's certainly, a reasonable ask that we'll have to find out.
Gretchen, the public hearing's still
The
open.
public hearing's still open on this?
It was undetermined date and time, so you have to.
Right, so we have to schedule it for.
You have to
official public
schedule
hearing.
it, yeah.
Yeah, we have to schedule.
And we'll be signing people to go on a site visit.
Yeah, whatever you like to do, absolutely.
So some of these observations can be examined and the people can make the site visit.
We did the original, didn't we? I think, but it was a few years ago. But I'm not, I understand the need for parking spots for the hotel, for it to function as a hotel. But how do we not completely block the views that were there today? I think we compromise. So I just really encourage you to bring that back to your client.
Sean, I think I was at that site visit. Did we go inside too? We looked at the rooms and everything? I feel like there was,
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, no, it actually, yeah, because we also looked out front,
There
because
was
there's also
there was
proposed
some
in front of.
stonework
That's-
concern.
Yeah.
There was originally, as I recall, some
Yeah.
discussion about parking
Actually,
on the
yes,
north
please.
side, but that's been pulled
And that
through.
was 4 or 5 parking
Just
spots.
to
right
go
before
to the
that.
blocking part real quick, if you can go, sorry, I keep making you jump around all over the place, the rendering. So I mean, the fence is there currently, so we're not creating a new block, to the river. It's really just pushing back an existing
Well,
fence.
the eight cars are.
Well, they're also not blocking. They're there, but the fence that's already there is already blocking.
Tomato, tomato.
What's that?
Tomato, tomato.
Well, it's
We're
what
just
you're,
exploring the opportunities to make this as attractive as we can possibly make it. So let's just explore those options.
sure.
Is it the concern that people not staying at the hotel might go on at all and enjoy, is it trying to keep people off?
It's more for keeping an event kind of enclosed in its own area is my understanding. But again, I can go back to the owner and see if that's a deal breaker for them as far as, using it as an event space or, you know, I could ask him and he could say it's not a problem at all, we can get rid of it, it won't affect the events. That was my understanding, so I can double check that with them.
I do think if there's gonna, for just personally, if the use is gonna be around events, there's gonna need to be barriers in place, not just on the train station side, but along the wall. I just think there's a creative way of making it more attractive, and certainly clarification around the transition from parking into grass area, and is fencing the best. But through a site visit and additional pictures and clear understanding of what the applicant's plans are, I think we'll get some of that understood.
Maybe a low stone fence, because you would have the added advantage of having that additional mass in case somebody didn't take the break. You don't go careening across the lawn.
I love that idea, Greg. It's a good idea. So it's like a 2-foot stone.
Yeah, just, it would act as definition, and, you know, people get the idea that, okay, the property is
And it would
stopped here.
it'd be more historic to the area too, also, like, without mimicking, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great
it
idea.
goes with other stuff.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Anyone else?
Certainly noted.
All right, next steps.
Schedule a public hearing and site visit. So, to go for site visit, then
All right. So, we schedule a public hearing for
April 6th.
April 6th. We don't have a resolution here to that effect, do we?
no, it's already continued, we already did the procedural, so
Okay.
it's smart, yeah.
So we're just scheduling it for April 6th and scheduling the site visit. Who would be interested in going on a site visit?
Okay.
All right? Who wants to go with it?
I'll go.
Delise? Greg and Delise will join you on the site visit. All right?
I'm sure you give direction to get that on the calendar.
I'll send you.
Okay, perfect.
And do you want me to re-refer this to Dutchess County? Do you want me to re-refer it to Dutchess County?
Read the
Site plans anymore?
Hmm?
Oh, it's commercial. They changed their
They
criteria,
did,
right?
I'll have to look, but
But it's commercial, it's not residential. I think we'll have to decide. We'll
We'll have to look at the guidelines and see if it needs to be re-referred.
yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
That concludes the old business for this evening, and we'll move into the public hearing portion of the meeting. The first is Edwin and Mary Jo Henke, 11 Jones Street, site plan amendment, HVAC. Is that you, Warren?
Good evening, I'm Warren Smith, architect, here on behalf of Ed and Mary Jo Henke. This application was before the board middle of last year, I think, and at that time, we knew there would be AC condensers, but we hadn't gotten the information from the AC contractor. Sometimes like pulling teeth to get everything you need. But anyway, so that was not included in the approval that you provided at that time. So the site plan has been amended to show a couple of units on the east side of the house, fairly invisible from anywhere off the property, because the neighboring house is right up here, close to the street. And the shed that is back here is being moved over here. There's a built-in door, so from the street, you really have to kind of look very closely to even see these against the building. And again, the neighbor is here, so unless they're specifically looking for them, they're not going to see them either. They're not much visible from anywhere else. But there are some drawings included that show them on the east side of the house there, again, next to the building door under a kitchen window. And as we discussed at the last meeting, the line set would run up along the corner board and disappear into the second floor of the attic as it would be. So that is that's the only change in this from the last time.
John?
Warren covered by one comment, just that we had asked last time if the line set be on the corner board there, so we're going to do that. I think one of the comments. Pretty straightforward.
So site visit, did we have a site visit on this?
I don't think there was a follow-up site visit.
I think we decided
Yeah, I
not
think
to
we
do
would
it,
actually.
Right.
I think this one's the one we decided not to.
Yeah, because it was really just to add in the
Okay.
heat pumps.
Questions, comments, planning board? Any concerns?
Just that one about the line sets, and have the plans been amended to show
Yeah,
that, because rendering it looks like.
yeah, there was updated rendering. Moved over.
Well, you probably can't go directly to the exact part of the new workspace. But I assume you have to be like at least 6 inches off probably.
Well, it has to go up and then turn, right, to make it to the ceiling or high enough up on the wall.
Yeah, I think it's high enough that it can get in.
Anyone? Is there anyone here from the public wishing to comment on this application? If not, may I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Jim, you have an approval resolution?
Yes. Approval resolution for the board's consideration on the application by Edwin and Mary Jo Henke for site plan amendment under Town Code Chapter 125 for the addition of 2 heat pumps at 11 Jones Street within the RCH and RCO, reaffirming the actions type 2 under seeker, for which coordinated environmental quality review is not required. Based upon the submitted information, including reports from planning board members and others finding the work is consistent with the objectives and regulations of Chapter 125, we will ask the board with respect to, sorry, number 3 comes out. With respect to the application for site plan approval amendment, finding that work and intended use to be consistent with Town Code Chapter 125, improving the application inclusive of the materials and site plan by Warren and Smith Architects, authorizing the planning board chair to stamp and sign both site plan, subject to the 3 conditions listed below, and noting that in taking this action, the planning board authorizes the planning board secretary to provide the approval resolution to the applicant along with details on the next steps, and that all plan sketches and other materials submitted to the building department for permits must match those submitted to the planning board.
May I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Poll the board, Craig? Edna? Aye. Tom?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Sharon?
Aye.
Denise?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Thank you.
Good luck, Warren. The next public hearing this evening is that of Ethan Smith and Monica Ramos, 608 River Road, site plan review, renovation of existing single-family dwelling.
Good evening. My name is John. I'm here to represent the owners. Monica is here with her brother and her brother's daughter. We had a pre-conference hearing a few months ago. At that time, the board had some questions and concerns about some of the scope that we were planning. Between that meeting and the site plan review, which was a month ago, we addressed those concerns. We minimized the amount of work that we're going to be doing on the site, and we reduced the scope of the project, of the renovation work. And we spoke to some of the questions that you had at that time a month ago. And there was a site plan meeting. The one clarification that was asked of us was to show the condenser on the outside of the house and the rear elevation, which we submitted. And we wanted to see, or we wanted to know about the lines going into the house from the unit. I think that right now we're planning to do enough work on the inside of the house that we're going to plan to run the line straight from the unit into the basement and then route the lines up through the house so that they're not visible from the outside. Is there any other questions, or should I continue to talk about the project?
Why don't you give us the scope of the project?
Sure, yeah. So the front of the house, the front rectangle is the original portion of the house. The rear rectangle that is crocheted is 2 separate additions that were put in between 1955 and 1970. We are going to be replacing all of the windows around the perimeter. We're going to be doing a lot of interior work, including kitchen renovation, and 2 bathroom renovations. We're going to be removing the metal flue that's visible from the street on the front, on the addition there, correct? So that will be a big site improvement. And then we're going to be painting that gray area in the back that's currently black. We're going to be painting it white to match the existing massing of the house. And then it's just like we're showing a bathroom renovation upstairs in the same place. We are going to be moving the kitchen from the front of the house to the rear of the house to restore the front 2 rooms to be more like living room spaces. So the kitchen will go in the back. The bathroom.
Second one, the rectangular.
There is currently a bathroom here. We're going to be updating it. This is the, yeah. So yeah, it's mostly interior work what we're showing here. And the new condenser unit outside is going to be just outside the house, at the rear of the house there.
Jim?
I think all my questions have been answered. The majority of those were done after the pre-conference meeting. The shed had been removed. You said the runs would be located straight in from the heat pump in the house. So I think those really kind of tied up the questions that I had. And I know APEC did provide comments.
Which were,
They had no
they had no
projects.
concerns about the project. Okay. Site visit.
On the site visit. I had no concerns. I mean, the things that they were doing feel that affect what's in front of us on the exterior feel like an improvement to the current condition. I like that the pipe is going away. I think the painting and the windows, everything feels in harmony of what's there. We talked about the barn a little bit and just taking away the vines and things to shore that up. But it feels like a positive, improvement and keeping the house in really good standings.
I agree, the windows especially will be a huge environmental improvement.
Planning board members, any additional comments, concerns?
In an earlier meeting, I think you had assured us that the windows are going to be the 2/2
Correct.
double hung windows.
Right.
And are those in the plan set?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. That's,
Anyone here from the public wishing to comment on this application? All right. Hearing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing? So moved. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Jim?
The draft approved resolution for the board's consideration for the application by Ethan Smith and Monica Ramos for site plan under Town Code Chapter 125 for changes to the 106 Bay River Road within the RA10 zoning district. Reaffirming the actions type 2 under secret for which coordinated environmental quality review is not required. Based upon review of the submitted information, finding that the proposed work is consistent with the objectives and regulations of Chapter 125. And with respect to the application for site plan approval, finding the proposed work and intended use to be consistent with Code Chapter 125 and approving the application inclusive of the set by John Best Architecture. Authorizing the planning board chair to stamp and sign the above site plan subject to the applicant's satisfaction of the 3 conditions listed. Noting that the planning board authorization authorizes the planning board secretary to provide the approval resolution to the applicant along with details on the next steps. And reminding you that all plan sketches and other materials submitted to the building department must be the same as those submitted to the plan.
May I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion. Second. Call the board. Rick?
aye.
Edna? Aye. Tom?
Aye.
Delise?
Aye.
Sharon? Aye. Sean?
Aye.
I vote aye. The luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
The next public hearing scheduled for this evening is that of Dustin McLeod, 531 Old Wooden Mill Road, site plan review, renovation and addition.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carl Hansen. I'm an architect and project manager with the Art of Building, representing our client, the homeowners.
Is the second one done?
So our project consists of, we have an existing home located at 531 Old Wartburg Road. And currently has an addition built somewhere in the 80s, 90s that we are proposing to remove and build a new addition in its place within the existing footprint of that current addition, and then an expansion of 706 square feet footprint beyond that. Additionally, the house is here, the addition is here. These are other outbuildings that are part of the existing property that have already been approved. And then we have existing septic over here, and then the owner is also proposing a pickleball court out in the field as well. As part of this adjustment, they are proposing to remove and replant and grass seed the existing front driveway, extend the existing stone wall further to cover off that entry, and provide a driveway extension off the back, existing one which currently ends here, to the back of the existing home. Per previous comments by the planning board and HAPAC, a couple of items that we were to address were the front entry. Our previous entry design was suggested to be perhaps too formal for this generation or this era of home. So we've revised that. We also had comments regarding the windows, not changing, not adding existing or new windows to the existing historic home. So we've removed the two that we proposed as new and maintained all of the existing window openings on the original home. Additionally, the new addition that we're proposing, windows in that are also have been downsized to reflect the hierarchy of the existing farm home to the new addition. And sorry, we had one more. We also had a comment regarding the roof lines of the addition. We had a kind of a parallel gable coming off of the addition that was parallel to the existing home. We've revised that as well to be perpendicular. And then the final one was regarding the driveway extension, which we have gone back to the owner, asked them to consider changing that, but they are adamant they would like to keep that.
Is that it?
Yeah, unless you'd like me to do more overview, but
Okay, has everybody turned it up? Jim?
I don't have any new comments. I didn't review anything new since the last time we talked. I don't know if there were any plans. I didn't see any. I don't think I missed them. But
there are adjustments to the original proposal. We have revised sheets in there that show the new entry proposal. We have the...
when were those submitted?
Look at my letter, I believe. When did we submit?
I just don't remember seeing any updated plans. That's all.
About 3 weeks ago. It was at the beginning of February.
So is it just been a letter? Because if we didn't actually get materials, then they wouldn't have gotten, like, they don't go into links to update.
Yeah, as far as I know, everything new was submitted, like as our letter, our cover letter was dated February 9th.
Well, whereas I haven't reviewed anything, any updated plans, just so you're aware, so we'll figure out what the deal is with that, but I don't have anything new other than addressing HAPAC's comments.
So you haven't reviewed it, we haven't reviewed it, correct?
Correct. Is it worth us looking at the pictures while we're, if it happens or not?
If she has it.
Yeah, just so we can give some comment.
What was the date that you sent the letter?
You said February 9th.
Because I don't have anything from February 9th. Was it from Luke?
Yes.
Last one I was 1:30 and Thursday, which is regarding escrow, and then one today from Old Wurtemberg.
There's nothing, what about the 1:30, January 30th?
That was the postponement request.
Okay.
Were hard copies submitted as well, revised hard copies?
I mean, as far as I know, everything would have been digitally submitted and hard copies, but,
I certainly remember this.
Yeah, 'cause I don't want hard copies either.
okay.
Well,
So we're gonna have to continue, I mean, obviously, we're gonna have to continue, because nobody's seen the updates, unfortunately, but,
are we waiting for anything else on this? We are not, are we? We've got everything else we need on this except this revised.
we want to take follow-up, but otherwise, I'll be hanging out outside.
Okay. All right, is anyone here from the public? Do we need to continue the public hearing, or are we at a point where we're comfortable closing that?
Well, I'd like to hear from HAPAC. I'd like to hear their response to revised work.
Okay,
So we're re-referring it.
yes. All right, so those revisions will have to be recirculated to HAPAC.
I also want to point out that, I believe I made this point in a prior meeting, that one of the important historic features of this house is the layout and the circulation. It's a, 18th century farmstead. There aren't many of these around any longer. And I think a significant amount of research needs to be done before closing off that circulation path, which would have connected the house with the barn that's no longer extant. So, as these things vanish, if we erase all of the traces of them, it really doesn't serve the purpose of preservation.
What about continuing the public hearing or leaving it open? We can leave it open.
I would say continue it, and
Okay, so may I have a motion to continue the public hearing to April 6th? So moved. A motion, a second.
second.
All those in favor? Opposed, abstention, motion carries. All right, we'll dig everything up and get back to you. The next public hearing is scheduled is that of Aaron Prince and Tony Swiss, Ackert Hook Road, site plan review for the construction of a single-family dwelling, covered terrace and in-ground pool with fence. At the request of the applicant, we will be continuing this to April 6th, Gretchen? Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
You will recall that they are working to complete Speedy's, right? SWIP. So their engineering consultants are working on the SWIP, and they don't have that information back yet. So they have a motion to continue to April 6th.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries. The last public hearing for this evening is that of Rhinebeck Villas LLC, New York State Route 9G and Middle Road site plan, special use permit, and wetlands permit. This applicant too, correct me, Gretchen, has requested to go to April 6th?
They requested March 16th.
March 16th, so that's a discussion. And I will get to the public comment. So it is a public hearing. We'll hear from you tonight, but we're just going to deal with the mechanics and logistics of when we continue this to. So how do you feel about March 16th?
This is just to go out 2 weeks?
No, I think that's their request.
Okay.
What's the
As long as we're not, we've got a pretty light load lately, so is that a pretty
And
open?
there's 3 public hearings, 3 new ones for that night.
As you all know, I mean, we received the letter from DEC, and it would seem to me that there's a substantial amount of work that has to be done before that is resolved. So it's really up to you. If you feel, if they're not ready in 2 weeks, we can obviously at that point continue it again. But it might be helpful to keep it on the agenda in case they get new information that we can bring before the public. Does that work?
Yeah.
So could I hear a motion to continue it to March 16th?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. I'll open it up now for public comment. I'd ask you to come up, introduce yourself, and give us your comments. I'll remind you that we like to keep them short, and if someone's already made the comment before you, then you can defer to the next person.
Hi, my name is Nancy Shomo. I live on Cook Road, directly behind where this development is supposed to happen. My husband, 20 years ago, did research on the water problem because I was getting sick and we tested the water and it was lead, and it's still lead. And on the property behind the house, I don't know if you want to see these pictures or not, but it's a lot of medical waste and it's never been cleaned up and it's still there. And he wrote a letter to, or he got in touch with the Department of Health, who did research on it and said yes, it was tainted, but he never did anything about it. And it's still the same. So
What is the date of your letter from the health department?
it was in 2004, April 14th.
I have a copy.
You can give that to the clerk if you'd like.
Site plan up.
I'd like, perhaps you can show on the site plan when it's up there where this was seen.
Should we pass the pictures?
Sure, would you, if you would like to pass the photographs down?
Oh, sure. It's
Are they,
The second button down, the rectangular button, press and hold it, you'll be able to point to what's on the screen.
To me, it's
Up here.
and perhaps when Jim gets this up, he will be able to tell us where these pictures were taken from and what we're looking at.
They're from behind my house.
Well, we don't know where your house is.
I know. I can't tell where anything is because I can't read the words.
You're on Hook Road?
Yeah.
That's the, show the corner of Hook and Middle.
Hook is along the top
Okay.
there, yeah.
Okay, so my house is there. Okay, and in all of this land is where my husband found all this material. It looks like it was a hospital dump because there were salt shakers and bedpans and all kinds of bottles and, you know, just a lot of junk, metal junk, all kinds of things from a hospital.
And the photographs date from when?
The same time.
2004.
Yeah, and nobody's cleaned it up.
Have you been back there since then?
Yes,
And do the conditions remain the same?
yes, and DNS Supply is on the other side of, is it on the other side of Mill Road? Yes.
This is Hook Road,
Yeah,
this is Middle Road.
yep,
So
yeah. So it extends all the way past. And, you know, if they build this gigantic thing, it's gonna take all of our water. There's not enough as it is, and everybody has wells in that area. And, you know, if we lose water, we lose everything.
Did you say you have lead in your water?
Yes,
Still.
I don't drink the water, I buy water from,
When was it tested?
my stepson just tested it 2 years ago, and it was still,
And do you have a record of that?
I do, but I have to get it from my son, else I can send it in.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah, but it's, you know, between that and all the traffic that's gonna happen because of that place, it's just,
What year was your house built?
70 years ago to this year. So
Okay,
there's 3 houses in a row there, and all 3 were built at the same time, and all 3 have wells, and
was the water tested from directly the wells or from the house? Because there could be lead pipes that could be leading to the contamination?
Yeah, the first test was the well,
Okay,
because we had to have it dug up and sanitized and, you know, but it's still,
and the preceding, the following tests have been from the well also?
no, the second, the one that was 2 years ago was from the tap.
Which isn't,
I know. But my well is underground, so I can't get to it. There's, you know, it's buried. And I don't know, I just think this is a bad idea.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your comment. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, did you have a question?
Are you willing, they're gonna, I think they're gonna retest with the drawdown.
We could probably get an update on that. I don't know where
Right.
that's.
I know a person came in the summer and asked me, you know, about the well and said they were doing a water study and they couldn't test mine because it was buried. So,
Okay, so your wellhead is
Yes.
buried and it's not accessible.
right, which is the case for a lot of people on Hook Road. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next? Just so comfortable. Yes.
My name is still Kathleen Clark, and I still live at 16 Rhinebeck. I just had a couple of questions. I just had a couple of questions for you. We've brought a number of things to you, a number of a memo on possible odor from sewage treatment, a document based on the applicant's numbers and on average amounts of water use. You know, how is that considered by you, and have we given you enough that you can consider that in your finishing of the seeker evaluation? I mean, like, if you ask the applicant for something and they bring it back, there's a dialogue that goes back and forth. I don't have a good sense of whether we've brought you the right kind or the right amount of information to have our concerns considered.
Speaking for myself, I think you and the other people interested in this project have been very clear in the issues that are in front of you and that are concerned to you. And we certainly look at it, but we also pass that on to CPL and Christian Moore, who is our engineering consultant. And he takes all of that public comment and input into his considerations and his reviews.
And then he gives that review to you? Does that end
It
up
comes
being
back to
part
us.
of the seeker?
Pardon?
Does that end up being part of your...
Part of our deliberations for seeker, yes, and that's the reason why we encourage, actually require, to the extent possible, Christian to be present at our meetings when we're going through seeker, because he is the engineering consultant we rely on to provide us that detailed report, and he will take that all into consideration.
Because you know, the last time we had a discussion about retesting the wells, and as I think I sent you a note that there were 5 wells.
Correct.
Out of,
You sent the note directly to me,
Oh.
and I didn't take it in. You need to send it to Gretchen to circulate
okay.
to the full board, so that I'm not in a position to reply to you directly.
Okay. No, I didn't actually think you would reply to me, Melody, just because of the public hearing and everything.
But maybe you want to report to the board, because that question came up about, because you were going to go out and talk to your neighbors about additional testing, right?
Yeah. I talked to the group that's been involved in this. I didn't go to every house to house, but there were 5 other, it would be a total of 5 wells that agreed to be part of the test. But I know that Christian was also going to look at whether he thought that drawdown test, it seemed in the last meeting that he didn't really feel like the 72-hour drawdown addressed our longer-term concerns. And I don't know if there's another test.
I think you asked him, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I think the answer was he didn't think there was?
Yeah, but I think he was, I had the impression he was going to look at that to see if there was some different kind of test, because I think, their 72-hour test shows that they have capacity for what they need. I don't think that it really addresses what happens over the long term when you keep drawing that amount of water down. I also noted that their well was they drilled down, I think, 500 feet. My well's 150 feet. So that kind of causes some concern to me. But anyway, I mainly wanted to make sure that we were bringing you information in the kind of form or with the kind of veracity that you'll actually consider it in your deliberations.
I'm seeing heads nodding up and down in a good way.
Okay.
So, but I also trust my colleagues that if they have questions about what you're thinking, they'll ask you. They're
Okay.
pretty good at coming up with their own questions in
Okay.
response. Now, just, you all know the letter that came from DEC. I believe many of you have seen them, so you know that
Yes.
there's a pause right now. And we do not expect to take up continuation of the seeker until we see how this plays itself out.
Good.
We're suspending review, not officially or unofficially, but until we have adequate information, there's no much further we can go. And
Thank you.
we don't want to waste anybody's time or anybody's money. We've asked Christian to hold up his reviews until we know what we're reviewing.
Okay, thank you for that. That was another question, so you answered that one. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. So we need to continue this public hearing or
The request was to March 16th.
March 16th, so
You did a motion.
we did the motion, so I'll set on that. So then that concludes our discussion of Rhinebeck Villas for this evening. Thank you all for your attention and for your continued good work on bringing these issues to the potential planning board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last bit of business this evening is the ZBA referral, case number 1096, Dakotas.
So the applicant has applied for a variance for an addition to the southwest side of their house on an existing residence on Hunt Road in the RA10. The addition will be 79 feet from the western property line where 100 feet is required in the side yard setback. I can zoom in on the map here. As they're looking at. So what you see in the hat area here is the existing house, and then the kind of lines here are the proposed two-story addition on the side of the house. This is the side yard setback line. So this is the area here that would be in the setback. The addition in the house is about 475 feet through the woods to the neighbor's house on the western side of the property, and about 350 feet to the neighbor's house on the eastern side of the property. Could be feasible, potentially to both. Overall, I didn't see any significant issues with this. It's 79 feet where 100 is required, but I obviously leave it to the board to determine how you want to move forward.
What's the address?
That's a good question. Let's see.
No.
It is 23 Kendall Lane. That's on.
Where it is?
Oh.
23 Kendall Lane.
Is it on Kendall Lane?
23
Yeah.
Kendon Lane.
Yeah, it's right off of.
Yeah, so that's.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
That's right.
I'm pulling it up now. 23
Looks like
Kendall.
Right near this
Newer
the
built,
villas.
too.
Yeah, It's like,
It's up on the screen.
It's off of Hook Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kendall Lane,
Oh, yeah.
yes, it is off Hook Road, so it's this property, the flag lot, which is obviously behind.
okay.
So.
I don't think it's raising any concerns.
So the addition is in this area here.
Very modest.
And one house is here, the other house.
So it's all
I think the ZBA should use their good judgment.
Would you make a motion to that effect?
I would like to move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So early?
You want to stay?
So moved.
You can vote no.
Yeah.
I don't second.
We did.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carried.